This year, one of my physios helped one of our patients to walk again after she'd spent over a year in a wheelchair. In today's video, I'm going to reveal the 3 exercises she used with our patient that you can use to improve your strength and your mobility. Our patient came to see us following a fall over a year ago. In that fall, she fractured her spine and spent 3 months in hospital where she was basically bedbound. She came to see us roughly a year ago and she'd lost so much strength she could barely walk. Her husband had to bring her in using a wheelchair and she couldn't even stand in the practice. But in the space of just 12 weeks, my physio Lucy was able to coach this lady to being able to first stand from the wheelchair, then walk again. And in today's video, I'm going to reveal the 3 exercises that helped her to do just that. So here are the exercises my physio used with her patient. Now, before I show you them, I just need to make you aware these are not going to be suitable for everyone. So do get checked out before you give them a try. And if they cause you any pain, just avoid them. Now, the first thing my physio wanted to do was strengthen the hip muscles for my patient, because if you haven't got strong hips, you're not going to have much stability when you try and stand up. And the glutes, particularly the upper glutes up here, just below the belt line, are very important for controlling your lower limbs. So that's exactly what she did first. We gave her a hip abduction in sitting exercise, and to do it, we need one of these. Now, this is a glute band. You can get these very inexpensively online, but if you don't have access to one of these, you can actually just use a belt, as long as it's a really tough belt, because the idea here is to push out, and it really doesn't matter how much movement we get, so a belt would work just fine. I'm going to show you with this. So to make this exercise work, you're going to wrap it around your legs from a chair and you're going to have it just above your knee. Now, what Lucy asked my patient to do is to shuffle forward right to the edge of her wheelchair, have her feet back like this and sit unsupported so she didn't have anything at her back. That helps her core to engage at the same time as her hips. Starting like this, Lucy then asked my patient to just push out into the band until she could feel her hip muscles out here activate, hold for 2 or 3 seconds, and then slowly bring the knees back together. Very, very simple. I'll show you again. So out into the band, squeeze, and then relax. And then out into the band and squeeze and relax. And this is a really simple exercise to fit into your day, because if you're already sitting a lot, you can do this whenever you're sat down. You can do it at your desk, you can do it whilst watching TV, and this lady could do it from her wheelchair at home. So pushing out into the band, contracting, and then letting this come back in is a really good way to activate those glutes, and done over a number of weeks will build significant strength here. If you're just getting started, I'd recommend doing somewhere between 10 and 30 repetitions in a row, at least 3 times per day for best results. The second exercise we used to help our patient walk again was knee extensions in sitting. And this exercise strengthens the quad muscles. Now, your quads are some of the most important muscles when you stand, because they're the ones that keep your knee nice and straight. And the issue is, if you've been sat for a very long time, you can lose a great deal of mental connection to your quads. It's like you still have the muscle mass there, but you just can't connect to it anymore because the pathways that stimulate that contraction are not very well used. So using a simple exercise like the one I'm just about to show you can strengthen those connections and help you stand easier as well. So for this exercise, you're going to shuffle back into your chair. So you're leaning back against the backrest, and we're going to work one leg at a time. It's very simple. All we're going to do is straighten that knee as much as you can, really asking that muscle to contract, and pull your toes up towards you to contract it even harder. Now, once you've got that contraction, you're going to hold it there for 5 seconds and then slowly relax the foot back down. Then straighten it again, squeeze the muscle, pull the toes up towards you, and then drop it back down. Now, this looks very simple, and it is, but what we're really feeling here is a tough contraction in that quad, and that is building mental connection. You're not going to build big muscles doing this, but you are going to build a strong mind muscle connection, which is even more powerful than actually building muscle mass. Now, if you want to make this exercise slightly harder, like Lucy did with our patient, she gave her some ankle weights to put on. So she was doing the same thing, but wearing an ankle weight around her ankle, which increased the resistance and made her switch the quads on even more. Now, again, doing repetitions somewhere between 10 and 30 in a row, at least 3 times a day, is a brilliant approach to get those quads activating so you can stand easier and for longer. Before we go any further, I just want to tell you about a very special bonus I've created for viewers of this channel. It's called the Complete Guides to Building Muscle and Strength over the age of 50. And if you're someone who is a little bit confused about how to go about starting the process of building muscle and strength, you don't know what equipment to use or what exercises to choose, this is perfect for you. It's an exclusive 25-minute video that you can't find anywhere else, where I teach you all the ins and outs of building muscle and strength specific for people over the age of 50. So it's one of the best things I've created. I'm giving it totally for free to viewers of this channel. All you need to do is scroll down below this video. There's a link in the description where you can sign up. I'll send you the video straight away and you can get started. It's some of my best info, and if you use it, I hope you enjoy. The third exercise we used with our patient was something called the phased sit to stand. Now, obviously, the goal was to have this lady up and out of her wheelchair, and just doing seated exercises and leaving it there is not going to complete the full picture. So we actually needed to work on the practical movement of standing from a chair. Now, for this lady, it was really tough to begin with, which is why we made it very easy, and then we made it harder as she got stronger. So this is exactly what Lucy did with my patient. She asked her to shuffle right to the edge of her chair to begin with, and then allowed her to use her hands on the handrest to lever herself up whilst bringing her nose over her toes and then standing. And then on the way back down, she slowly lowered, she found her hands on the handrest, and then slowly dropped herself back in. Now, it wasn't ideal that she was having to use her hands, but that was the only way we could do it to begin with, just because she hadn't got the pre-required strength in her quads quite yet. But as the lady got stronger, what we did is just very slowly slowed down that phase of the movement. So she was more slowly lowering until she found her hands, and then dropping in for that last 6 inches. Now that started to build some significant strength. And the way we were doing this was 5 repetitions in a row, several times per day, just doing little and often to build that strength. Now, as the lady got stronger, what we did instead was allowed her to use her hands to stand like this, but then on the way back, she was only allowed to put one hand down just to give herself a little bit of support as she slowly lowered into the chair. Now, this increased the eccentric contraction, which is where the muscles are lengthening as you're kind of fighting against gravity, and built even more strength. Now, as she got even stronger, we took the hands away entirely. So we put her hands across her chest, she went nose over toes to stand, and then very slowly put the movement into reverse, sticking the bottom out, bending the knees, and trying to do this phase of the movement as slowly as possible. Now, the final result was amazing. She was able to stand like this nice and fast, and on the way back down, she could lower so slowly that it made absolutely no sound when she reached the chair. It was as light as that because she had built such significant strength in her legs to allow her to do it. Now, this process took a number of months because the lady started off as very weak. But if you're pretty mobile, you just want to get stronger, you can make a significant impact to the strength of your legs by practicing this for probably 3 to 4 weeks. Again, 5 times in a row, several times per day. It will make a massive difference to your strength and mobility. I hope you give that a try. And if you do, come back and drop a comment in the chat below. And I'll see you again on the next video.